Hello, my friends. It is the glamorous Dick Black Shack once again, and I'll tell you up front, this is going to be a really technical video. I am going to be adding analog input support to Iron Soldier, and so that basically means analog controller inputs, mouse inputs, anything along those lines. BigPEmu can automatically translate to analog intensities. And so that makes it pretty convenient to query standardized values for input devices and script code. So anyway, I haven't actually looked at Iron Soldier yet, so I don't know what I'm in for. This could end up being an incredibly complicated 2-hour video. I do not know. But anyway, so I'm hoping that even non-programmers will be able to follow along with this reasonably well. Um, in terms of just like finding different values to plug in and relating this to different games, because even though like conventions and stuff will differ a lot between games, that kind of the high level concepts are very similar. And I would love to see more people than just me writing scripts like this, because obviously that would take us much more quickly to the ultimate utopia of a fully playable library of Jaguar games. For the first time ever, the whole library doesn't suck. So sorry, no, not to say the whole library does suck, of course. Um, but anyway, I'm hoping a lot of people will be able to follow along here, and I would love to see more people make attempts of this nature. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. This could be a nightmare, and it could put people off of trying to do the same thing, or it could be swimmingly easy. We'll see. But I've started off by just copy pasting my Wolfenstein 3D script, which is a very tiny, very simple, nice little script that adds analog support to Wolfenstein 3D, analog input support, that is. And so as you can see here, I haven't actually even replaced the hash yet, so let's do that first. You can just Control C in the BigPEmu menu here, and that'll give you your ROM information in the clipboard. So let's just go ahead and paste that hash right on over. Okie dokie. And obviously, these are still Wolfenstein 3D addresses. I've added the concept of pitch preemptively because I know you can look up and down an Iron Soldier, and I'm assuming that it's probably another explicit angle. We'll see how they deal with it. But anyway, so I've got a debugger enabled build of BigPEmu here, and the Noesis debugger attached to it. And I've created a save state, so I'm just already in the game here. So first thing that I want to do is bring up the data finder. And in this case, I'm going to assume that we're probably dealing with a 16-bit angle. Some games will be dealing with 32 bits and quantizing it in different ways. Some games will be dealing with less than 16 bits and using some range of precision there. It all depends on what they're doing under the hood. And especially in the Jaguar games, you will find that everybody was kind of just winging it basically and writing their own stuff. So you have a whole lot of different conventions, a whole lot of different fixed points, math precisions, and different ways of dealing with and storing that data. So this part, it can be a little bit fuzzy, and you have to try sometimes a lot of different approaches before you hit on the right one. But for this case, let's just create an initial data set that's just every 2-byte aligned value in memory. And I'm going to first try assuming that when I turn to the right, my angle is increasing. And that could just as easily be the opposite. I could be decreasing it, decreasing the actual value. And we also have to be conscientious of the fact that it could be snapping at some point, and we don't really know where that snapping is occurring. Going from 0 to 360, vice versa, or whatever range of values they're storing the angle in. But first guess, let's just try turning right and say we're expecting the value to increase. And what I like to do when I know the value is not changing is just refine it a bunch on equal, and then I'll get rid of a lot of noise, a lot of stuff that's changing through the frame. when you know it shouldn't be. And let's now go back to grader. And you can see my data set is being drastically refined already, which is great. That's exactly what we want. And now let's try doing less and turning in the other direction. Okay, and I'm seeing, see here, 4 values here that are pretty directly reflecting my angle. So that means the game is probably copying the angles off at some point, and we want to find whichever one of these is kind of, you know, the source value for the angle, because we don't want to be dealing with a copy of the data and manipulating that and just having our changes to that data stopped before they're used in any meaningful way. And so let's come and take a look at, I'm just going to guess this top one in the second set of values to start with, and we can do a live update on that. And now as we change our angles here, you can see that value changing. And based on this range here, I'm going to guess that when I go to the left, I'm probably going to snap to 7FF. It's looking like that's probably about the precision we're dealing with. And funny enough, that's exactly what Wolfenstein is using. Although it is, you know, using a 32-bit value. We'll see if we're actually doing something similar here or not. But hey, look at that! Sure enough, snapping to 7FF. All right. So now that we know this is definitely reflecting our angle, what we want to do is see if just a good way to see if you're dealing with, you know, source data is just to stop it and see if it actually, you know, directly reflects in the game. And sure enough, that did the trick. So we've got our yaw angle. Fantastic. That wasn't so bad. Okay. Very good start. So what I like to do at this point is set a data read breakpoint on this data and see exactly what is dealing with it. So you got something moving it here. It's being treated as a word, so that's an important thing to note, because Wolfenstein 3D was treating it as a long word. Let's go ahead and modify. I'm just going to assume that the pitch is going to be a similar situation here. And so we got that. And see who else is dealing with this. All right, somebody else is masking it off here at 7FF. And they're doing the same with a bunch of words close by in memory. So that clues me in. That says probably one of these is going to be the pitch. Hopefully, because that would be nice and convenient. So this looks like a pretty good location, because we're masking, you know, the data off here. And whatever happens to it after that, you know, this is probably after it's been sanitized, so we can deal with it, modify it, and that's probably going to impact it directly in the upcoming frame. So let's do that, and let's also make sure that we have our breakpoint enabled again. And okay, back on over here. All right. Now, what this code is doing here is going through the first 2 input devices. If any of the ones it finds are not set to standard, it's going to try querying them for analog values, and you know, if it gets them, then it tries to adjust the angle with that analog value. And so input device 2 is set to analog, and I've got the analogs all bound to my 360 controller here. And so, as we can see, it's working, but it's actually backwards. So, left and right are swapped. It's an easy fix. There we go. All right, perfect. It feels a bit fast, so got this scale of 4 as my base scale from Wolfenstein. Just, you know, whatever felt good. Obviously, it's on top. It's stacked with the user customizable sensitivity. So, all right, yeah, that feels better. Got a fair amount of precision. It's still a nice bit of speed there. Um, of course, the analog stuff, it's very customizable already in BigPEmu. There's a nonlinear curve option as well, so you can do a lot with that if it doesn't feel good. Rather than messing with the sensitivity in a script, you might want to go ahead and look at the analog sensitivity options in BigPEmu. Same for mouse input and so on and so forth. But of course, you can also just modify it in the script and do whatever you want to it. So, um, anyway, now that we have found yaw, let us begin our search for pitch. And let's see here. Other values that I noticed here. Generally seem to be, except for this guy, after the yaw. So let's just observe and see what changes as I pitch up and down here. Okay, I am seeing two values pretty distinctly changing as I adjust my pitch up and down. And I'm going to say this is most likely an 11-bit signed value that we're dealing with here based on how it's transitioning to 0 when we're even. And so let's take a note of this range here. We've got 1FC on one end and 704 on the other end. Okay. Now, let's see which one of these we actually want to be dealing with. Let's try the first one first. And so we're looking up at the sky. Let's just try to stop and 0 in here and see if that evens our view out again. And sure enough, look at that. Okay, that is delightful. So we have our pitch. And now it's looking like the pitch is going to be a little bit more complicated because it is indeed, a signed value. So let's do a teensy bit of math here. And let's see here. So 1FC is 500H. And 704 would be 1796, but as a signed 11-bit value, it's going to be negative 252. Okay, so we have our values that we need to clamp with. So let's say 50 over 5, shift it back by 5. All right, I should do that. And now what we want to do, this could be wrong, it could be flipped, we'll see. So we want to say angle, and we'll clamp that in, that's negative 252. And we want to clamp this end. And what was it? 508. Okay. All right. Now let's do that. This might work. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if I got that shit right on the first try. I kind of doubt it. But it's possible. Oops. Definitely fucked this part up. All right. Okay. Holy shit. It works. I am as surprised as you are, my friends. I certainly am. All right. Yeah, this is totally working. Look at that. Fuck yeah. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. But yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure this game is way easier like this. Hey, look at how fast you can like turn around and actually aim now. Like, holy crap. Of course, it helps if you don't suck at aiming like me, but yeah, that's uh, that's pretty cool. So there you go. There's another feature for the next BigPEmu is analog controller support in Iron Soldier. And as you can see, it wasn't too bad to do all that and figure that out. Um, and Iron Soldier was even the case where we had to do a little bit of math to figure out how we should deal with the angle here, but it wasn't too complicated. So yes, I hope that the three of you who are still with me at this point enjoyed the video and got something from it. And if anybody does decide to try doing anything like this for any other games, do let me know, because again, I would love to see other people making enhancement scripts for this thing. Of course, if nobody does, I'm just going to keep cranking them out myself as long as the Patreon funds keep coming. So, and on that note, yes, please support my Patreon. I've got a net negative number of patrons this month. No, I don't know why. Ebbs and flows, but definitely, the income is important. Especially, I'm still going through all the health crap. Um, I'm not gonna get into that in this video. It's a whole mess. But anyway, yes, please do support me. Tell your friends to support me, and come write wonderful, beautiful Jaguar enhancement scripts with me, please. Um, but yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say here, and hopefully, this was reasonably self-explanatory. All this other stuff is copy-pasted from the Wolfenstein script, basically. It's just, boilerplate setup, getting these events and settings, and we just got one breakpoint to deal with where we're modifying both yaw and pitch here, and it seems to be working quite nicely. And yeah, that's that. So again, thanks for watching, and until next time, my friends.